All right, what's up, everyone? What I'm going to be talking about is, well, social psychology, but in particularly social cognition and attitudes. And so I think the first thing I should touch on is the attitudes portion, which you have your implicit attitude, which a person cannot verbally express, and then you have explicit, or did I say explicit? I meant to say implicit attitude, which a person cannot verbally express, and then explicit attitude, which a person can basically pretty much explain. And I think an example of that for me would be, like, I don't know. I know the reason why I enjoy sports is because I played them. I think they're fun and I think they're amazing. One thing that I can't express is like, I don't like green bean casserole. I hope this is a great example because I feel like it is. But I've never actually tasted green bean casserole. So I don't know if that actually would fall more into, what would that fall under? Prejudice? But I know nothing about it. But that's the first part. So kind of being aware of what kind of your attitude position and understanding within that, there's a lot in the subconscious realm that we don't understand. And even within the subconscious realm, right? So when the only way that what's in the subconscious can be made plain or aware to our conscious is if with information that challenges things in our subconscious. So that's where you kind of get the danger in that is that you might have motivated skepticism, which you basically are your natural response, I should say, is to push back against the information that doesn't align with your particular set of belief or experience. And so I think a great one for this is where let's say you get some data where it's saying percentage wise, it's been found 60 to 70% of men actually are faithful in relationships. But due to your experience of maybe being cheated on a few times, you want to say that you're more inclined to say, I don't believe that information is fact due to personal experience. It clashes with your reality. And so, I don't know, I think the importance though of like social cognition and attitudes, because kind of once we begin to understand our position and where we stand with certain topics and ideas, then we can create, what would you call those? Research formulas? Studies. We can create studies to better understand. Dang, I never thought about it. Okay, I know in the other one it was talking to, actually it did say that we're actually, even though we're typically good due to schemas, which we create patterns in our mind, and heuristics, which we create mental shortcuts. Typically in our quick judgments, we're usually right based on experience. But ironically, that same philosophy doesn't apply to ourselves, where we may be able to judge, is it personality well? But we're not able to accurately assess parts of ourselves. And the only way that parts of ourselves can be assessed is through this field of psychology, because through certain interactions and more natural settings, we're able to see how we really feel, that may not normally be expressed due to maybe public shame or the kind of like societal outview in that moment. And I think an example of that would be, at least that they talked about, which I think was a great example, is racism. And, I'll be honest, for me personally, it took me a while to kind of see that my views on other cultures was a little bit racist, to say the least. And it wasn't because I was outwardly like mistreating or kind of speaking like rudely. 5 minutes, I'm gonna cut it short here. But speaking negatively about to these people, but it would come out in certain like comments, I would say, and typically with people. I wasn't never really making these comments by myself, but they're typically in people and settings. And so there's a certain part of ourselves. In fact, I read a book, and I'm going to end this on this point. I read a book called Byproduct, and this book was talking about 4 states of our consciousness, where we have the part of ourselves that we know and people know to be true, the part of ourselves that people know but that we don't know to be true, the parts of ourselves that we know but people don't know to be true, and then the 4th realm, which people don't know and we don't know. And typically that part is only exposed in certain environments and situations. And I believe, and I really do believe that. So that's one of the importance of social cognition. Why is that such a hard word? Cognition and attitudes. It helps us research that. I hope that makes sense. And yeah, thoughts, likes, comments, concern. This is not going on the main channel.